Today we decided to pack up the car and go out on a journey looking for land. And of course we're bringing our trusted dog Dixie with us. We begin our journey in East Texas and plan to show you many cities throughout North America. Please subscribe to our channel. We could really use your support.
Paul Katroff, 423 Buy Land. We have another little land adventure that we're looking for today because I want to go out there and find some neat deals on the open market. I really never know what I'm going to find, but these are the journeys that I go through. People always say, Paul, where do you get your lands from? How do you find your lands? I find my lands by overcoming multiple failures. People don't know that. I'll look at 10, 20 properties to score one. And then I bring that one property to the open market and I look like a great land seller. Where do you get all these lands? I work for it. That's what I do. It sucks. And I also know that before I look at these properties, that just like when I look for properties, 90% of the property is going to suck or they're not going to apply. That's what you have to go through. You got to be diligent. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to show you what we're looking at right now. All right. What do we got here?
It's a 2.5 acre lot for $40,000 in Soda Oaks, which is 11 miles outside of downtown Livingston.
Okay, I know where Soda Oaks is. That's good land. It's always a little bit sloped, but it's good land.
Yeah.
So what's this price at?
$40,000.
All right. And how many acres?
2.5 acres, which is unusual.
Well, that's, for today's market, that's a pretty that's a fair value. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing somebody who's got lottery ticket prices in his eyes, and for people that adapt a price right away that's reasonable, it means they're motivated to sell the property. Now, of course, on a property like that, they're not going to come down very much, but that's fine because it's still in bounds. Now, my number one question is, does he have electric? Let me see, go back to the last picture.
Well, it's more the surrounding area. I don't know if it's a nice area.
Well, he's got that picture in there because he's got the power line, so that's good. It's got power.
Let me see on the Pulp CAD.
And it's okay. Is that the lot right there?
It's these four right here. So there's 190. It's just off of 190.
Okay.
See.
Let me see. Zoom that in. Make that a little bit bigger. There we go. So it's 1, 2 outlined in green. Mm-hmm. Right off the bat, there's got to be a creek going through there, right here.
Yeah, I think they said there was.
Okay. Now, given his prices, well, I use the term reasonable or low in comparison. I'm wondering about the obvious, which is flooding and ravines.
Don't know. You'd have to.
But also given the amount of land, I know those two lots will probably equal about 1.5 acres. But you see that red line right there.
No, that's not it. That's their dividing line. That's not a. That's
no,
actually.
That's not a divide. That's not a platting line.
Yes, it is.
That's not. Okay, you're right. You're right.
It's an odd plat.
Or that would be in blue. Okay, so this has got an awkward plat here. This has got an awkward plat there, which is fine. Doesn't really matter because he's selling them. He's smart. He's not trying to break those up and sell an awkward plat. He might be he's a smart guy, smart price, and it's reasonable.
Yes, so it's interesting to go look at these.
And there is there's people there,
neighbors.
But with the amount of land, 2.5 acres, you're going to have all the privacy you want. But together, right off the top, you don't see many plats with a lot of road frontage. Now, I personally am more for the longer plat, but you have so much land to work with. And here, hey, wait a second. This guy's got a road on either side.
No, there's no road on this side.
This looks like a road right there.
Yes, that is a road.
Okay, and I'm telling you, there's probably
no, there isn't.
Maybe there's an easement there.
No.
Okay.
It's just somebody else's land behind it.
Okay, and right off the top of my head, how far is that from the highway? Do you think?
Close.
It's right there off of 190?
Mm-hmm.
That's an excellent location. Okay. That also, even though it's 2.5 acres, and normally those are unrestricted or you can do what you want, we need to kind of make sure. Is that a tract or is it a...
It's 4 lots.
It's 4 lots.
But I don't think there's a POA. Let me see.
Okay, because that might be houses only. And that can be very deceptive.
No, homeowner association, no.
No homeowners association. Gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
2.5 acres, 40,000. You know, of course, you're always going to try to chop them down a little more, but you can't expect them to come down too much more, especially with what's going on. What is the name of the road?
Soda Oaks.
It's a Soda
or
Oaks.
something like that.
Okay. Now, let me see this right here. So he's got some clearing around there. You've got a little lake over there. So there's people in the area generally. I got to tell you now, I need to know the dimensions of the plot. How long is it off the road? Because if that's 100 feet, I'm not interested.
No, it's quite a bit, actually.
I'm wondering about that.
260 feet deep.
260 feet deep.
Yep.
And 392 feet of frontage?
Approximately, yes.
Dang, that's a nice plot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the first reasonable person that I've seen. Anything on the title that you've skimmed over? Not off the bat, right?
No, the title looks fine, actually. I don't see anything wrong with it. I'd have to really look into it, but
okay.
There's only 2 owners. So
and what are the taxes on that? It's
like
Smith?
$60.
$60. Yeah, that's going to be unrestricted. Oof, that would be
Yeah.
I mean, that's great for a land investor that actually wants to make a quick flip now. I mean, I believe there is. Well, I'm not going to say there's any profit right now. It's a dead market, so it doesn't matter what it should sell for. It's not going to sell right now. And I like to tell people it's not going to sell. I don't care if it's a good deal. However, you know, you got to buy for the future. And I think, especially if Trump gets in, that property can be $60,000, $70,000 easily on the open market if you wait till post-January. Now, Kamala gets in, we're all screwed. You're not going to sell nothing.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I think that's pretty cool. Grab me a little plot map and a little bit of information. And is there an address on there?
No.
No address?
No.
Okay. Just grab me a plot map so I can use my satellite. Okay. Neat little situation. It's going to be a little bit out of the area. It's going to be about 20 miles out of the area. And, you know, these are the lands where kind of boonies-ish, but you're right off the main highway. Access is quick and easy and simple. The plot looks nice, and I'm going to go check it out real quickly. You know, go check the trees out, that type of thing. So I think we have us another mission, 2.5 acres. They're asking 40 grand, and it's nice when you do see a nice piece of property that's reasonable. So, you ready to rock?
Ready.
Hey guys, look. I got my Lucky Snoop Dogg shirt on. When I wear the Snoop Dogg shirt and the Trump hat, I'm successful every time, okay? And I just remember that 423 Buy Land has to always prepare himself for the worst. But I'm pretty good. I got Snoop with me. So we're going to go in about 1, 2, 3 into the 4th second. Now I'm kidding. But anyway, stay tuned. All right, real quickly, I want to show you the information. You go look for land yourselves. I printed this printout. It's always important, guys, because I've written down the name of the owner of that property. I know the address of the adjacent house. So I'm going to put that address in. It's going to take me right there. And there are 4 lots in this, and that gives you an idea of the dimensions. Really, really nice looking dimensions. Oof, what a morning. These are the times that I really get pumped. When I see something in front of me and you just kind of know in the back of your head, this could be really cool. I am dying to get somebody to watch my videos that capitalizes and buys one of the lands that I find. I got nothing in it for me. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. I'm not in the middle. I don't have some conspiracy going with the landowner. I don't know, from a hole in the wall. I'm doing this to build up my channel. I've been selling land for 24 years. Now it's your turn to become the land seller. Hey, I'm going in a neat direction here. I'm reinventing. You always have to. Look, it gets boring selling land. Now I get to take the deals to you. So this is really, really cool because there's nothing in it for me, which is great. Completely selfless. Well, I need a free subscribe. It'd be nice. You know? Hey, I'm on my way to becoming Joe Rogan. I just need about 50 years. I got it. That door belongs to me. You don't ever touch the door. Ever. There you go. See, even if you don't get the door, if you touch it, you get partial credit for the door opening, okay? All right. I'm pretty stoked, can you tell? It's gonna be cool. No, you being on camera on our YouTube channel is huge. It is huge. I know you don't like to be on camera, but when you look at some of the most successful people out there, they have their women with them. Listen, let me tell you something. Women's worth more than the man any day of the week, especially in 2024. If I just get you on camera, look, when we do our podcast, if you would sit next to me for 5 minutes, I mean, that would be really awesome because my big mouth can only fly so far. But people are, it flies pretty far. But people are always saying, where is Gillette? You know, I have you in a thumbnail picture, but you know, your voice and your dialogue is important. You know, I don't have that nice, appealing voice. I have that My Pillow guy, big mouth, used car salesman voice. There's nothing I can do about it. I've tried over years to kind of bring it up a notch and talk at a higher level. I can't do it, and I'm too excited. But you know, you're the compliment. And let me tell you something: the women want to see you. They want to see the other side. You know, I'm just saying. I really want you to be involved a lot more because basically, I want to pimp you out for the video.
I'm your driver.
No, you're not my driver. You know, by the way, Yolette does everything. She does everything behind the scenes. That's why I got such a great setup. The reality is, she does most of the research. She finds the deals. She even contacts the customers. And what we learned by having a woman involved is that finally, 10 years ago, I got Yolette to pick up the phone and pitch a customer. I'm trying to give her pointers and advice. Little did I know, she kills me. She has like a 90% closing ratio. With my fat mouth, I got like a 10% closing ratio. And I could not believe it. And so for 10 years, she does everything. And plus, it's a lot nicer. When you hear a lady on the phone talking, they're much more trustworthy. And that's important for people to know out there. I have another partner of mine, one of the best land sellers in East Texas, and he's started getting his wife involved. He said, Paul, the difference is night and day. He goes, we are nothing in the land business because that woman is everything for the marketing. So even though I walk around with a camera, I'm always trying to catch her in a shot, but I think we're going to work her in a little bit more. What do you say? I want you in the videos more. If I could get you on 90% of the video and just narrate it, I'd be rich right now. I'm telling you. But anyway, this property is located in a really, really great location. What I'm really stoked about this is, like I say in my introduction and a lot of videos, let me be your eyes and ears. We know what we're doing. But we know the area intimately. I can look at a map, look at what quadrant of the city or the town that the property is located, and get an idea of the ones that are hard to get to, the ones that may hold water. And this is located on the east part of town, just past the courthouse. It is literally on the outskirts, just 4 or 5 miles. You are in touch with everything. You are right there. And I mean, short little country drive, and everything you need, gas stations, everything are there. But you are literally going to drive, what, 6-7 miles? You're at a super Walmart?
Correct.
I mean, you are literally on the outskirts, right on the edge of town, and it's just a perfect location. Now, getting out there is very hard to do because there's a high demand out there because most of the tracks are unrestricted. People always say, I want an unrestricted piece of ground. Well, obviously I know where to find them, but if you can't get a good deal, it doesn't matter. So I don't normally go to the eastern section of the city. I'm normally north, south, and west. So to head out there is really cool. And I'm going to get an opportunity to show you what downtown Livingston looks like. So stay tuned. All right, we're going through downtown Livingston. We just passed the Highway 59 Interpass. Livingston has a population somewhere around 12,000 people in town. Polk County at one time had about 32,000 people. Right now, I want to say there's a lot more than 32,000. There's probably 40,000. I haven't checked the demographics on it lately. But, you know, everything in town that you need, obviously, it's It's a bustling little city. And growing. They're expanding the roads, yada yada, everything. Now, just past the Highway 59 underpass, 2 miles up, we're heading east, by the way. So if you come from Houston, you're going to head north, and this is what you're going to see as soon as you get off. But on the right-hand side, just 2 miles east, is the courthouse. And this is where, we meet people, do a lot of our deals at. And here is the courthouse. Look, they're becoming a national landmark. Typical downtown Texas. So right next to the courthouse is a little intersection, and when we get past that light, you are now entering out of the city. So the property is a few miles in that direction, just past the courthouse. So you can see you've got everything in town. It's literally jump on Highway 190 and head west, and within a few minutes you're right here. So that's pretty cool, and it's right off of Highway 190. Right. This is not, get off of this main highway, drive 5 miles into the boonies where, you've got some guy with a shotgun looking for you. Been there. So as you can see, as soon as we get past this light, it goes right into, land with, large acreage tracts, which is pretty neat. Now, slow down. Here it is right here. Okay. Soda Oaks Road. So we're about 6-7 miles out of town. Okay. Yeah, man, this is exactly what I thought. I've been here before. Always nice. Look at that. Nice house right on the corner. Beautiful street. I know exactly what we're going to see. You just can't get better than this. This is beautiful, Elad. Look at that. And these are unrestricted grounds.
I don't know.
No, well,
It's no.
no, I'm going to say it is. I'm going to say it is. Because this is, I know this area. There's no POA. No. So there's not enough people to have an actual POA. So there's no reason to pull money in from the residents because they're not going to do nothing. Okay.
Must be this right here.
Could that be it?
Yep.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay, that's it. All right, we're going to have to turn around, but at least it'll give them a gander of what the end of the street looks like. You got a mobile home over there. Okay. All right. It's right there next to where that dingleberry is hanging around in the street. Yeah, it's like, really, dude? He doesn't look like he majored in quantum physics either. Okay, so right there, we're pointed at the ground. Let me grab the satellite app, and let's just make sure. I think that's it right there. So we just came right over that hill from the main highway. The location is great. It's all a matter of who wants to go battle the rattlesnakes to get onto that ground. Man, look at those weeds. I didn't bring any insect repellent. That's so scary. I got to do it for the video. That sucks, man. I never get to walk onto like a football field or a pasture. It's always like we need to call Indiana Jones to get up there. Okay, so let me do a quick search on my satellite app, make sure we're here. Okay, I verified it. Right about 20 feet in front, right here. So it's going to start right about there. It's going to go over there with this Neanderthal standing there in the red shorts. I wish he wasn't there because I got to walk out with a camera. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I thought he had a dog with him. He's like, get out of the road. Maybe use neighborhood security. He was scary just looking at him. That's all right. You know why? We're going to go look at this ground. I just got to figure out how to get to the stinking woods. I got to get into those woods. You didn't bring any off with you?
No.
Dang. I got to do this. This sucks. Okay. This is that person's property, and the lot line goes right about here. Now, there's only one drawback initially that I can see, is that there is a water runoff, which is a gully that cuts through. And that's going to be the only problem to deal with. Now, that's not a bad thing. It's just something you have to weigh out. And of course, it goes through other people's property. You can see right here, big culvert. Now, you can see that, you know, people obviously live on either side of it. So right now we're in kind of a chess game. So this is which is kind of cool. It can be cool. It's a big culvert, so you expect a good volume of water, but it looks like it's forged its way as a creek. It looks like it's done this job as a creek. So we need to really focus on that in the middle of the lot. It'll be something, a landmark that you'll have to obviously build around. I don't know if I can get to that, guys. But I'm always looking at drainage ditches. You see this? That is a drainage ditch, so the flow of water goes there. And it's got a pretty deep drainage ditch, from what I can tell, running along the edge here. I think the only problem is this drainage ditch needs to be cleared out. So that's going to be part of your development cost. Nothing major. So that water runoff goes about in the middle of the property. So that's something to consider. Big property, a lot of frontage here. And the Neanderthal is up there. I don't know what the guy's doing. He's probably looking for a girlfriend. Okay. Okay. This looks like a mildly good entrance point. Oh, this sucks. Man, all I wanted was a great video. All right. Probably an animal path because I can get through here. Okay. As I walk through here, I can tell you right now that it's shallow there. And I would probably dig this out all the way there as part of my development. Anyway, let's get into this ground. Remember, this is a big ground, guys. And unlike the 6 acre that I showed you, it's a tricky one. This is very thick. This hasn't been cleared in years. I don't know if it ever has actually been cleared. Okay, I got to make my way, see where this creek system goes through. That's the meat and potatoes of this whole deal. You see, I can't help but think to myself, you know, the price is right, the plotting is great, the location is great. But why does he not have dollar signs in his eyes? Why? Everybody does. Is he virtuous? Is he righteous? Is he reasonable? No. They never are. Not in today's market. Everybody's trying to make a buck. Okay, now watch this. Cracked this lot. We already see some water runoff right here. Look at this trail right here. Okay? There's that trail right there. So we know we got a big water passage here coming here. I'm going to chase that right now. Keep in mind, it's a big property, so the water going to come here. You can see we have water path that comes down here. We have another one that comes down here. If you never see me again, I'm in trouble. Okay. Now, just looking down, I'm seeing a lot of water. A lot of waterways here, guys. Oof. Okay. And the ground is still, you can see how it changes into that. This is that sandy loam. It's a light color soil, and it definitely travels and moves with water. You can see how the ground has kind of covered that. Okay, we have this little creek here. But when I look at this creek, I'm looking at the sandy loam. It goes to there. Remember that culvert? How big that culvert is? So this has got a little creek here. From there all the way over, this is filled up with water. This is not a cute little creek. As I'm walking, my feet are getting full of wet mud. Okay, you can see how this is where water goes. You can see how the ground goes up. Okay, so I'm trying to find a high point is what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to weigh out how much good ground you actually have, and most importantly, how hard is it to access this ground? Because you got to look at the street in relation to the street. You know, if you can get some high ground to the street, that makes everything a lot easier. And you're going to have to install a culvert anyway. Okay. I'm on fairly high ground, which is good. I've always talked about building on top of a hill. Okay. Man, I have no idea if I'm going to be able to even pop out on this one. Thank God we got phones. Okay. Now, this is the highest point of the ground, so the first half of the property I'm not really extremely happy with. I don't know if you can see through the trees, it kind of gently slopes down. Okay, get a little bit of a clearing here. I'm trying to map out that big culvert where the water goes through. See, this has got some elevation on the right side of the lot. Looking at this ground here, I don't see any water runoff there. No, I don't see any creeks or paths going through there. It's a very big ground. I can't really get through this. But you have to make some type of assessment. So this is the highest point. And this is kind of more towards the back. I can see a little bit of clearing back there based on the plot. So I try to say to myself, if I were to put a house here or a unit here, I'm still seeing very small paths. I don't think they're animal paths. So you got lots of water trickling all over this. It's going to get bad down there. We know that. So let me see if I can check the slope out. Okay. Ah, bunny rabbit. Nothing the slow cooker won't take care of. Okay. I'm coming down the slope from the back of the lot. Based on the distance from the front of the lot, you know, you have to put your house way back there. But as I come down here, I'm seeing a lot of that sandy loam, which is, you know, once again, that base topsoil that you're looking at right here. That sandy loam travels. Doesn't look the same as that green wooded section up there. As I come down here, I'm seeing a big water deposit right here, all along there. Of course, we're back at the creek. I'm kind of losing my bearing a little bit. The water going to travel here, and I'm walking along that path. Now that creek has got to help out a whole lot. It's got to be, it's directing the water for sure. But it's less about, I'm not worried about it overflowing its banks. It's more about the flow from the top of the hill. Okay. Here we are. I followed that around. I've come from the back side of the lot, and I popped out at a very big culvert. Okay? At a very big culvert. Try to see what I can't, if I can get out of here. Come on now, give it to me. I'm being eaten alive. This is mosquito heaven. When all the mosquitoes die, they come right here. Now it's a question of, can I get through here? I think I can. Whew. A lot of water goes here. Look at the overgrowth. Okay, that was a quick walk around. You know, mainly because the elephant in the room is that big culvert runoff running through the ground. Without that, there's nothing wrong with the ground inherently. But I'm looking at the water flow. Yeah. This is one of those properties that I'm coming back in a rainstorm with rain gear, frog togs, pants, and I'm letting it pour. And I'm walking onto that in a pouring rainstorm before I drop my money.
It's a hard one?
No, it's not a hard one. It's the elephant in the room. It's like I try to explain on camera. That's a big culvert. That's not a little culvert. And when I went on the ground, that's not a good situation.
Storm surge water.
No, I mean, if it was on the edge of the property, not that big of a deal. You can cut it out. It's like the house across the street has a culvert, and it's going on the edge of his property line. So having a water runoff there is not a problem. This is cutting right through the center of the lot. I mean, you saw where I popped out at just now. And I'm looking at the ground, and it has that mudslide effect, you know, wide. So I try to ask myself, where would I insert a house? Well, you're only really good to insert it, I mean, because of the location of that culvert, even though you have 400 feet of frontage, you've got too much to overcome. If you stuck a driveway on the other side of that, you still have to overcome a serious water runoff, and it's a constant flow. Every time it rains, it's going to come down. So you can't fill it up with sand. You can't bring in dirt, okay? So if you accessed it over here, the culvert is too far to the middle that, in my opinion, when you look at the actual usable land, that's reasonable. Listen, you can spend $100,000 and develop anything.
Yeah.
Okay, but reasonable. If somebody's going to buy this, you're not really being able to use the 2 acres. 2 acres, you know, if you want to sit out on your patio at every rainstorm and watch rapids go down the property, we know that very well, and we've tried to do that on ours. We have a similar situation. So if you try to, if you're into that and you want to cock something to the far left of the lot, and you want to have every time it rains, you got a river going down your property. Yes, you could avoid the river with where you put the abode, but every time it rains for the next 20 or 30 years, you've got a massive culvert. And
Yeah, it's a pretty big piece of land, though.
no, it's not a big piece of land. It's a big platting.
Yeah.
Never get deceived by the platting. Look, if you can't use that land, then you're not buying the 2 acres. I've seen it before. People sit on their patios and literally watch rivers flow under their house, and there's nothing you can do on it. The erosion is torrential when you go into pier and beam foundation.
Yeah.
So, I'm not dropping $40,000 in this. It is what it is. That is why the price is cheap. I guarantee you that property would be $120,000 without that. And if you were to call the owner and try to negotiate with the owner, he is going to let the price speak for itself, and he's going to say, "Hey, it is what it is. It's cheap land." And I hate that. When somebody calls me, I don't tell them that. I tell them, "Hey, it sucks. Part of the land sucks. If you can do something with the other part, you can at least clear the land, fence it in, and you can have a cow there, a horse there, but you're always going to have water flowing down. At least say, hey, the culvert's big." The answer to this situation, without a doubt, 100%, You have to come back again with rain gear in the rainstorm. You cannot hypothesize completely how much land you have, and that's what 99% of the people are not going to do. People are going to see that culvert and they're going to walk like I'm tempted to walk, but I also know that if I come back during a good flooding time when there's nothing but water, and I can go back there and look at the water flow, because there is a little bit of a creek system.
It looks like water flows over the road there. See, the road is eroded.
It could. It could, and also the easement just north of that tunnel is not dug out. So you have the water from running down the side of the road into that section too.
Yeah.
This is something that you have to come back, and I got to tell you, you don't really. It's not one of those situations where you're excited about coming back. I mean, your odds at coming back and seeing a nice little creek deviate through and go, oh, I could put a bridge over that and put my house there. That I doubt is going.
Could you buy the first 2 lots and be happy?
No, because if you bought the first 2 lots, and I thought about that too. Okay, negotiating on just the first 2 lots, but the direction in which the water comes, it comes from the north. So it starts at that corner, the water flow. It starts at the corner of those 2 lots. And even if you were to try to enter those lots, you're going to have to build a real bridge to drive your car over, because you can't block that amount of water. It's got a slope to it. Everything's going to come down. Everything from the corner. So it's going to cut that right corner off. And then where it pops out at, you don't have a lot to work with. It's like, So I don't know about you.
It's a no.
Well, yeah, it's a no for now. I mean, if you're highly motivated, you want to come back in a rainstorm, but I've seen enough of these properties. The size of the culvert right away says, I don't want to come back and do this in a rainstorm.
Yeah.
If it was a small culvert,
no.
I'll come back.
It's a runoff, a big runoff.
Yeah, it's a big culvert.
Yeah.
It's a very big culvert. And you can see on the other side of the street, it cuts through that ground. A lot of water goes through there. Now, for $40,000, come on, buddy. This is one of those lots I would actually split up to sell if I was going to sell it, but still, you have to sell it honestly. Yeah. And that means before you bring the buyer out, you need to show him that culvert. The buyers are not stupid. And that's one of the biggest problems that people make when they do their advertising. You say, call me, I'm going to tell you about the property. Say, look, there's a water runoff cutting through the property. How it affects the property? Well, there's good land on one side. I've seen my own ground. I think it's doable, but it's an awkward one. It's a tricky one. If you want, I'll meet you out there and show you what I'm talking about. It's up to you, but it's gonna have it's got a flaw that you have to weigh out. That's how I would kind of handle it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it. And that's doing our thing. Anyway, Paul Kacheroff and my queen is here, and we are on our way back home, and I think that's a wrap. What do you say? All right, let's rock and roll. Hey guys, 3 tips to buying land. Number 1, never run to a for sale sign and make a phone call to the land seller while you're on his property. If you call me and I know you're standing on my lot and you say, how much is the property? I know you want it. I'm not going to come down very much. Always go home, send them a text, and act uninterested. You reek of desperation. Number 2, always try to bypass the agent. They lie, they cheat, they steal. They'll never send the offer you want to the owner. They'll sit there in the middle and cover their commission. They do it all the time. I've tried it. I've even called the owners and said, did the agent call you? He said, no, the agents will lie. Get rid of them. Save your money. And number 3, most importantly, always remember, do your own research. Do your own research. If you're not proficient at research, surround yourself with a quality land seller. Never use an unexperienced land seller. Somebody that runs down, gets an LLC, he's trying to sell his ground. He's only sold 4 lots. You're gonna get burned. Be smart. Call people like me. Good luck on everything you do.